You know that heavy feeling in your shoulders when you haul a massive suitcase. You cram it full of things, thinking you need every single item just in case. A second pair of shoes, 3 extra shirts, all your tiny soaps, chargers for every gadget. You truly believe you need it all for a smooth trip. But Japan? It proves you're very wrong. This country flips the entire idea of packing on its head. Get ready to ditch that heavy bag and travel smarter for good. Before we continue, hit subscribe so you never miss the latest updates. Number 1. Large walk-in closets. Okay, so we don't literally pack our closets, but we definitely pack the mentality of one. At home, having lots of space encourages us to collect an outfit for every possible scenario. The what if it's colder, sweater, the what if we go somewhere fancy, shirt. When you pack for Japan, you can leave that entire mindset behind. The main reason? Coin laundries. They are on a completely different level there. Forget some dark, dingy basement. We're talking bright, spotless spaces with high-tech machines that wash and dry your clothes perfectly in about an hour. Many even have detergent built in or available from a little vending machine, so you don't need to pack that either. Number 2. Multiple cars per household. This one is less about a physical item you pack and more about a mindset we bring with us. In many places, especially in the US or Australia, life is built around the car. You have one for work, maybe another for the family. You need it to get groceries, go to the gym, or see a friend. That way of life makes you feel like you have to be prepared for anything, and that often means carrying a lot of stuff with you in your trunk, just in case. But in Japan, that entire idea just disappears. The public transportation system isn't just good, it's practically a life support system that connects the entire country. Subways and trains in cities like Tokyo are so frequent, you never even check the schedule. You just show up, and a train will be there in 3 minutes. Number 3. Huge refrigerators. Think about your fridge at home. For many of us, it's this giant silver box we have to stock up every single week. The big grocery trip is a whole event, right? You buy in bulk, plan your meals for 7 days, and then try to cram it all in there like a puzzle. In Japan, that whole idea feels completely foreign. Most kitchens have refrigerators that are way smaller, sometimes half the size of what you'd see in an American home. And it's not because they're trying to save space. It's because you just don't need a huge one. Life isn't built around one massive weekly shop. Instead, it's built around incredible convenience. On your short walk home from the train station, you'll pass a couple of supermarkets and probably 3 or 4 convenience stores, or konbini. Number 4. Massive kitchen appliances. And it's not just the fridge. Think about the whole kitchen back home. Giant ovens that could fit a turkey, huge dishwashers, and an army of countertop gadgets. Blenders, stand mixers, air fryers. We build our kitchens to handle any cooking project we could possibly dream up. But in Japan, the incredible variety of high-quality, affordable, and ready-to-eat food changes that whole equation. You can get a fantastic meal from a convenience store or the basement of a department store. So the pressure to have a kitchen that can do everything from scratch just isn't there. Our home kitchens are built on a just-in-case mentality. We have that giant oven just in case we host a huge dinner. We own that stand mixer just in case we suddenly get into baking. Number 5. Dedicated dining rooms. Think about the formal dining room back home. It's that one room with the big, fancy table that maybe gets used for a holiday dinner twice a year. The rest of the time, it's basically a museum for furniture. It's a huge amount of space dedicated entirely to a just-in-case event that rarely happens. In many Japanese homes, that concept just doesn't exist. Space is used efficiently, so rooms are often multifunctional. The area where you eat is also the area where you relax and live. There's no room for a room that just sits and waits. Number 6. Large front yards. In many parts of the world, a big, perfectly green front lawn is the ultimate symbol of having made it. But think about everything that goes into maintaining it. You need a lawnmower, trimmers, hoses, and fertilizers. It takes up a huge chunk of your weekend, and all that equipment clogs up your garage. It's a massive investment of time and resources just to manage a private patch of grass. In dense Japanese cities, that's space that simply doesn't exist. Instead of private yards, you find incredible public parks and meticulously kept gardens that everyone can enjoy. The entire community shares these beautiful green spaces, so no single person needs a garage full of gear to enjoy them. Number 7. Clothes dryers for everyday laundry. So what's the number one thing that stuffs our suitcases to the breaking point? It's clothes. We pack for every possible social event, every type of weather, and every just-in-case scenario. We do this because we think doing laundry on vacation is a huge, time-consuming pain. But in Japan, doing a quick load of laundry is as normal as grabbing a drink from a vending machine. Most hotels have their own coin laundries, making it ridiculously easy to wash your stuff. And here's the part that really changes things. Many of those machines are all-in-one washer dryers. But if you use one, you'll notice the dryer setting isn't very powerful. It's not broken. It's designed to handle just a few items at a time. The whole system is built around doing small, frequent washes, not one giant load once a week. This flips your entire packing strategy on its head. You don't need to bring 10 t-shirts. You can bring 3, wear them, and just toss them in the wash for a few minutes while you're getting ready. It's a mindset shift from, I need to pack enough to last the whole trip, to, I can easily have fresh clothes whenever I want. Letting go of that big dryer mentality frees up more than half your suitcase. And this philosophy of smaller, more efficient living doesn't just stop with your laundry. It also radically redefines one of the most personal spaces in any home. Number 8, oversized bathrooms. Think about the bathroom back home. For many of us, it's become a personal sanctuary. We have sprawling countertops, double sinks, and cabinets stuffed with products for every possible situation. A different cream for every part of your face, a dozen hair products, and that bath bomb you've been saving for 3 years. This more is more approach directly translates into how we pack. Our toiletry bags are often the heaviest, most complicated part of our luggage. We're trying to bring a miniature version of our entire bathroom cabinet, just in case. But in Japan, you'll find a completely different philosophy. Bathrooms are incredibly efficient. Often, the toilet is in its own tiny room, and the main bathroom is a compact, wet room designed for exactly one purpose: getting clean. There's no space to hoard products. And here's the genius part: you don't need to. Japan's convenience stores, or konbini, are on another level. You can walk into any 7-Eleven or Family Mart and find an amazing selection of high-quality, travel-sized toiletries. We're talking face washes, lotions, makeup removers, and even sheet masks. You realize you don't need to pack for every skincare emergency. You can just grab what you need when you need it. This frees you from the tyranny of the toiletry bag and sheds serious weight from your luggage. And this idea of carrying only what's essential extends far beyond the bathroom, changing how you think about the single most important item you carry every day. Number 9, home offices in every house. For many of us, that one essential item we carry is our laptop, and it never travels alone. Back home, we've built entire rooms around it, the dedicated home office. We have big desks, dual monitors, special office chairs, and drawers overflowing with every cable and adapter you can imagine. This "be prepared for work" mindset spills directly into our luggage. Our tech bag becomes a heavy, complicated beast. We're not just packing our computer, we're packing its entire support system. The extra travel monitor, the full-size mouse, the bulky headphones, a massive power bank, and a pouch full of dongles to connect to any screen imaginable. We're trying to build a fortress of productivity on the road. But in Japan, that idea doesn't really exist. With space being so tight, especially in cities, a separate office room is an incredible luxury. Instead, spaces are designed to do double duty. The kitchen table becomes your desk, and living areas are built for flexibility, not for a permanent work setup. You learn to adapt pretty fast. Japan's amazing public Wi-Fi and its network of quiet cafes and co-working spaces means you never need that mobile command center. You can be productive with just your laptop. All that extra gear just becomes dead weight. This realization doesn't just lighten your tech bag, it frees you from the pressure to always be on, completely changing how you spend your downtime. Number 10. Large grocery trips once a month. That pressure to be prepared for anything doesn't just fill our tech bags. It fills our pantries. Think about it. Back home, many of us do the big, once-a-month stock-up trip. We fill a shopping cart to the brim, planning out weeks of meals, buying in bulk and grabbing snacks just in case. We're building a fortress of food. And that exact mindset ends up in our luggage. We pack granola bars for a snack emergency, our favorite brand of instant coffee, and a handful of protein bars because what if we get hungry and can't find anything? We're packing a mini pantry, adding a surprising amount of weight for situations that almost never happen. But in Japan, that whole idea is turned on its head. The culture is built around buying fresh and buying often. People don't stock up for weeks. They just pop into a local market or convenience store, a konbini, on their way home to grab what they need for dinner. And these aren't just any convenience stores. Japanese konbinis are legendary. They have an incredible selection of high-quality, fresh food, from onigiri rice balls to full bento boxes, and amazing sandwiches. You are never more than a 5-minute walk from a fantastic, affordable meal 24 hours a day. Once you realize this, you stop packing for a food apocalypse. And it's not just about saving space. It's about trusting that your destination will provide for you. This same trust can completely change how you approach personal safety and your most valuable possessions. Number 11, excessive kitchen gadgets. That fortress of food we build in our pantries, it comes with a full arsenal of weapons in our kitchen drawers. Think about it. At home, we have a gadget for everything. The avocado slicer, the garlic press, the special pan just for poaching eggs, the spiralizer we use twice. Each one promises to solve a tiny, specific problem, but together they create an overwhelming amount of clutter. We've been convinced we need a specialized tool for every single task. But in Japan, the kitchen philosophy is often the complete opposite. It's not about having a drawer full of single-use gizmos. It's about having a few high-quality, incredibly versatile tools. A single, razor-sharp Santoka knife, for example, can do the job of 10 different slicers, dicers, and coers. The focus is on skill and simplicity, not on buying another gadget. This works because the entire food culture supports it. When you can get an amazing, fresh, and affordable meal at any conveni, you don't feel the pressure to cook elaborate meals at home. The need for a panini press or a fancy blender just disappears. And that mindset is incredibly freeing when you travel. You stop thinking about every possible kitchen scenario you might encounter. You trust that simple, good solutions are already there. This minimalist approach doesn't just declutter your kitchen. It can also completely change how you spend your free time and what you think you need to stay entertained. Number 12, large parking spaces. And how you get around completely dictates how you spend that free time. In many countries, the default assumption is that you'll be in a car. Everything is designed around it. Malls, supermarkets, and office parks are surrounded by massive oceans of asphalt. We plan our entire day around driving, traffic, and the hunt for a parking spot. This whole mindset is something you can leave behind in Japan. In Japanese cities, life is built around the train station, not the parking lot. The public transit is so incredibly efficient, punctual, and clean that owning a car often seems like more trouble than it's worth. You don't circle the block for 20 minutes looking for a spot. You just walk a few minutes from the station and you're there. It's not just about convenience. It's a fundamental shift in how you experience the world. Instead of being sealed off in a car, you're walking through vibrant neighborhoods, discovering small shops and restaurants you would have driven right past. You shed the stress of traffic, the cost of gas, and the mental load of navigation. This freedom from the driver's seat doesn't just change your itinerary. It changes how you think about your personal space and what you really need to feel secure. Number 13, separate guest rooms. Back home, having a guest room is a common luxury. It's a whole room with a bed and furniture that often sits empty 99% of the year, just waiting for that rare occasion you have visitors. It's the ultimate just-in-case space, a physical symbol of being prepared for anything. But in Japan, where homes are designed with incredible efficiency, that kind of dedicated, single-use space is a rare sight. Life is built around flexibility, not excess. Instead of a permanent guest room, you'll find brilliant multi-purpose rooms. A traditional tatami room, for example, can be a living area, a dining space, or a place for tea during the day. But at night, a cozy futon is pulled from a deep closet, and the space instantly transforms into a comfortable bedroom. The room adapts to the need, not the other way around. This isn't just about interior design. It's a mindset you can pack with you. That guest room mentality is what makes us bring a specific outfit for every possible dinner, or a different gadget for every unlikely scenario. We're essentially packing an entire house of what-ifs into our suitcase. Japan teaches you to trust in adaptability instead. Find the multi-purpose solution. A single jacket that works for a hike and a nice dinner. A power bank that charges all your devices. When you trust in flexibility, you realize you don't need a separate, specialized tool for every single problem you can imagine. This freedom from what-if planning doesn't just lighten your suitcase. It changes your relationship with the objects you own, especially the small, everyday items you might think are non-negotiable. Number 14. Bulky furniture that serves only one purpose. Back home, our biggest and most expensive possessions are often the laziest. Think about it. That giant, plush sofa does exactly one thing. You sit on it. That heavy wooden coffee table just holds magazines. Each piece of furniture is designed for a single job, and it locks down a huge chunk of your living space permanently. But in Japan, furniture is expected to be smart, flexible, and hardworking. It's a place where a single object often serves multiple needs. You'll see low tables that transform from a workspace into a cozy, heated spot for the family to gather around. Or beautiful folding screens that can create a private corner in an open room, then disappear when you don't need them. The ultimate example is the futon. It provides a comfortable night's sleep, but in the morning, it's rolled up and stored away in a closet. Just like that, a bedroom becomes a living room, giving you back an entire space to use for the rest of the day. Number 15. Excess storage for unused possessions. And this brings us to the final boss of consumer culture. It's one thing to have a cluttered drawer, but it's another to have so much stuff you literally pay someone else to hold it for you. Think about it. Garages you can't park in, attics filled to the rafters, and an entire industry built around renting you a box to store your other boxes. It's a monument to our just-in-case anxiety. We hold on to old furniture we might use in a future home, clothes we hope to fit into again, and boxes of electronics with obsolete cables. We're not storing possessions. We're storing possibilities that rarely, if ever, actually happen. In a place like Japan, this mindset just doesn't compute. Limited space is the practical reason, but the cultural reason is more important. The focus isn't on hoarding a personal inventory for every imagined future. It's on trusting the incredibly efficient systems around you. Why store a spare of everything when a konbini, a drugstore, or a Don Quixote can provide what you need, exactly when you need it? That's it for today. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, and stay tuned for more updates you won't want to miss.